Good morning and Sairam to all the students. Welcome back in your social science class. So, students, today in our social science class, we'll do our geography chapter that one part we had already covered, and today we are going to finish our chapter of geography book, and that is the chapter number 3, Motions of the Earth. So, as I told you, there are two important motions of the earth, that one is rotation and another is revolution. Rotation we had already covered in our previous session, and today we will discuss about the revolution, about season, and about leap year. So, let's do a small recall of the rotation. So, what is rotation? The movement of the earth on its axis. Again, I'm repeating, what is rotation? The movement of the earth on its axis is known as rotation. The main important part of the rotation is that it rotates on its axis. Second thing, it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. How much time it takes? It takes 24 hours. That's why one day is equal to 24 hours. Third thing is day and night occurs due to rotation. As you all know, one day is equal to 24 hours and day and night occurs due to the rotation of the earth on its axis. Now, the brief introduction about the revolution. Definition is the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. It takes 365 1 upon 4 days to complete one revolution. It takes 365 1 upon 4 days to complete one revolution. Season occurs due to revolution. So that's all the brief introduction about revolution. Now let's start discussing these things, these points in detail. Here. So as I told you, today's content point is leap year and seasons. What is leap year? Everybody knows that leap year occurs after 4 years. In leap year, we have 366 days. It means the year which is having 366 days is known as leap year. Now, normal year has 365 days and a leap year has 366 days. I am going to tell you how it occurs, why it happens, what is the reason that after every 4 years there is a leap year, why there are 366 days. So as I told you that earth takes 3 see as I told you, earth takes 365 1 upon 4 days to complete one revolution. Now, these 365 days are complete days. So, we can easily say 365 days. But this 1/4 day, we cannot say 1/4 day. So, what we are doing, this 1/4 day means 1, let me show. 1/4 day means 6 hours. 1/4 day means 6 hours. Okay, 1/4 day means 6th hour. Now, maybe you will think that how 6 hours come? Very easy. I'm going to show you. Look at here. One day, 24 hours. Now divide 24 by 4. So 4 6 are 24. Why 24 here? Because one day is equal to 24 hours. 1/4 means we divide the 24 by 4 and we will get 6 hours. So that's why I have told you 1/4 means 6 hours. Now I will show you. See here, 6 hour, as you know, 1/4 means 6 hour. Now every year we have 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 4, because 365 days we are taking as a complete days. Now look at here, 6 hours first year, 6 hour second year, 6 hour third year, 6 hour fourth year. Now 6 plus 6, tell me what is 6 plus 6? 12. 12 plus 6, 18. 18 plus 6, 24. And 24 hour means 1 day. So how much time it is taking to make, or so to becoming a complete 1 day? It is taking 4 years to making or to becoming a 21 complete day. So that's why after 4 years the total number of days is 366 days. That's why it is known as leap year. You can count 1 2 3 4. That's why it is known as leap year. I hope you all understand this concept, that 1/4 plus 1/4, in fraction also I am going to tell you, 1/4 plus 1/4 become 1 after 4 years. That's why after 4 years leap year has come, and it is having 366 days, and this 1/4 is the rest part which we are taking from revolution of the earth, because our earth take 365 1/4 days to complete one revolution. One revolution means the rotation around the sun. I hope you all understand the concept of the leap year. And one more important thing, this 1 day, this special 1 day we add in the month of February. Where? February, because rest of the months have 30 and 31 days. Only the February has 28 days. So this special 1 day we add in our calendar in the month of February in leap year. Okay, now I am showing you one diagram. This is a very important diagram, and this diagram is showing you the revolution of the earth around the sun. As you know that earth rotates on its axis, and it simultaneously it also move around the sun. Now this is an, as you can see this lines, this is an imaginary line where the earth is rotating on its axis, and here earth also rotating around the sun. Now everybody know this concept we have done, that you can see the earth has divided into two parts, darker blue and lighter blue. It is because of showing you the day and night. Now how the seasons occurs, we will discuss through this diagram also. Now first of all I am going to tell you, the earth moves around the sun in a elliptical orbit. Throughout the orbit the earth is inclined in the same direction. Now what is inclined in the same direction? This is very important to understand. Before understanding the seasons, what is inclined? Inclined means tilted towards in the same direction. Now if you observe this diagram carefully, see the axis of the earth in all four pictures are this way, or you can say from right to left. It never goes this way in any diagram. Okay, so it means whether the earth is in front of the sun, far from the sun, it's tilted towards in the same direction. You can observe this in the diagram. I'm showing you this diagram. You can see the direction of the earth tilt is same whether it is near from the sun or it is far from the sun. See whether it is far or near. It is tilted in a same direction. It never goes like this. Understand? That is inclined. Okay, so now you understand, inclined in the same direction. Okay, now second thing, usually we already know that we have 4 main season. This we have know from our class second, that we have 4 season, that is summer, winter, spring and autumn. And this is the main 4 season which I am going to discuss in this chapter. Before this, there is very important thing about heat zone. Now what is heat zone? Look at this diagram. Now in this diagram, our earth is divided into different heat zones. Now here we have North Pole. The upper part of the earth is known as North Pole and the lower part is known as South Pole. North Pole and South Pole touches with this imaginary line which is not visible, but because our earth rotates on its axis, so we assume this imaginary line. So North Pole and South Pole touch this line. Now second thing, we have equator. Equator, equal. What does equator do? Equator divides our earth into 2 equal hemisphere. Hemisphere, or in simple language, 2 equal parts. Now, but in geography we use the term hemisphere. Here equator, this is very important, equator is at 0 degree. So what does equator do? It divides our whole earth into 2 equal parts. This shaded part is known as northern hemisphere. What does it known as? Northern hemisphere. And this unshaded part, or I'll shade with the another color, okay, purple color, this is known as southern hemisphere. Now what does equator do? That it divided upper part into northern hemisphere and the lower part of our whole earth to southern hemisphere. Now further, these hemispheres will divide into the heat zones, and it divides accordingly how the sun rays occurs in these areas. If the sun rays are straight, then definitely the areas are heater, more hot than the other areas. If the sun rays are slanting, that area must be colder. Okay, so now I'm again, equator divide our whole earth into 2 hemisphere. Upper one northern hemisphere, the lower one southern hemisphere. Now remember this term throughout the chapter, because further we will use these terms in our seasons. Okay, so as I told you, now torrid zone, you can see torrid zone, it is written torrid zone. So what is torrid zone? Torrid zone is the most hot part of the area of that, because here the sun rays are straight throughout the year. Now upper circle, Arctic circle, this is Arctic circle between and this is Tropic of Cancer, this is Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic circle. Now between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this area gets maximum heat because it is on the equator, and throughout the year this area has very high temperature, okay, from both north also, south also. Now the part, let's talk about the North Pole first. Now from Tropic of Cancer to Arctic circle, this area is little bit northern temperate zone. Why temperate? Because it is having a little bit slanting sunlight, and this area is suitable for sun survival also, not very much hot or neither very cold. Now after Arctic Circle to North Pole, this is called frigid zone. Frigid means cold, freezing. What is frigid here? Cold, freezing, because this area gets very little sunlight, no straight sunlight, slanting, so it is cold area. Even the temperature of this area is very less. Similarly, in the south zone also, the area from Tropic of Capricorn to Antarctic, humid, good sunlight, good for survival, neither too hot nor too cold. South Pole, frigid zone, similarly gets very less sunlight, temperature is very low, not suitable for the survival of the human being. So this is the way how our earth divided into different heat zone. So frigid zone, north temperate zone, torrid zone, then after south temperate zone, and again frigid zone. Now remember, Tropic of Cancer comes under northern hemisphere, Tropic of Capricorn comes under southern hemisphere. Similarly, Arctic Circle, northern hemisphere, Antarctic Circle, southern hemisphere. Look at this diagram very carefully. It is very important diagram to understand the different heat zones on the earth. Now, as I told you that we will talk about the season. Now, basically we have 4 seasons, that is summer, winter, autumn, spring, but we divide, or you will come to know about the different term in the geography, that is summer solstice and winter solstice. Now, what is summer solstice? What is winter solstice? Let's see that diagram again. One more time I am showing you this diagram. Now, if you see this diagram very carefully, and this diagram I have taken from your geography book of NCERT, so you can easily relate this diagram. Even if you want, you can open your book also, and whatever I am teaching you, you can see that in the book also. So students, now look at this. What is written here? Summer in the northern hemisphere. What does it mean? That during this time, it means during 21st June, what type of temperature? That is hot, and we are feeling which season is going on? Summer. Summer season is in northern hemisphere during 21st June, and you know all, we are also experience the heat and the humidity during the June season, and we are getting summer holidays also during this time. So it means where we are actually located, we are on the northern hemisphere. So here summer in the northern hemisphere on 21st June, and that's why it's also called summer solstice. What does it call? Summer solstice. As I told you that equator divides the earth into 2 equal parts, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and the seasons occurs just opposite with each other. So it means if during 21st June in northern hemisphere there will be a summer, that is, and so in southern hemisphere there will be a winter. So in 21st June in southern hemisphere, they experience, the people of the southern hemisphere experienced the winter. Okay student, and remember, where Asia, we are there in the northern hemisphere, we are in the northern hemisphere. Okay, understand that I will explain you in detail why we feel hot or summer during this. First you just see the diagram. Okay, now just opposite of this, now look at this. During 22nd of December, here we have, during 22nd of December, winter in the northern hemisphere. So winter breaks we are getting in January. So during 22nd of December, the northern hemisphere experience winter. So if northern hemisphere experience winter, so what southern hemisphere experience? Yes, definitely just opposite of winter. What is the opposite of winter? Summer. So that hemisphere will experience summer. Okay, student. So 22 December northern hemisphere, winter. Now, two more important thing, equinox. Equi means equal. Equal means equal day and night. So it's here neither this time we are experiencing too much hot weather, not even the cold weather. So that's why it is called spring and autumn. During spring means October season, and during February season neither we wear too much you can say winter clothes, or neither we feel so hot or sweating. That is a very good atmosphere, pleasant atmosphere, or you can use another term, moderate atmosphere. So 21st March and 23rd of September, it is equinox. It means spring and autumn time. Okay, so let's see this in detail. I hope you understand the diagram. Now I am giving you detail of this, why this is during this time that hemisphere experience the heat, or why during another time the hemisphere experience the cold. Okay, so here we have summer solstice. Now, as I told you, I have shown you in the diagram also. Now I am giving you in detail point. On 21st June, the northern hemisphere tilt towards the sun. Tilt, I have told you, when something is tilt toward the sun, that's why it means that part is getting the direct heat from the sun. Why it is getting the direct heat from the sun? Because it is getting the direct rays from the sun. On that day, the sun shines directly on the Tropic of Cancer. Now I am showing you a diagram again. This is Tropic of Cancer. It means the rays are directly on the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, students? So that's why it is getting a direct rays. Hence the area receive the more heat, maximum heats. Now the area near the pole receive less heat because the rays of the sun are slanting there. Less heat near the pole. As I told you, fridge zone, the north hemisphere is inclined toward the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continue daylight. As I told you, our earth is tilted toward the sun, so the area near the Tropic of Cancer gets more heat, and that's why more heat means experience longer days. Now, as a large portion of the northern hemisphere gets light from the sun, therefore it is summer in the northern hemisphere. And during the summer, everybody knows the days are longer and the nights are shorter. The days are longer and the nights are shorter. As I told you, whatever the situation in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere just experience the opposite of that. So it means if during summer season northern hemisphere experience summer, so southern hemisphere definitely is going to experience winter. So at this time southern hemisphere all these conditions are opposite. It is winter season there, nights are longer. See, now as you know summer solstice, now you can see the sun rays are direct here. So that's why on 21st of June this area experience summer season. This area experience summer season, and the southern hemisphere experience winter season. So I have explained you about 21st of June. Now opposite of summer, winter. Now on okay, so in winter solstice 22nd of December, the Tropic of Capricorn receives direct rays of the sun and the southern hemisphere tilts towards it. On this day, the sun shines vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn, that is on 23 and a half degrees south. Hence this portion gets maximum heat. When I'm talking about the topic of Capricorn, you all must think about this area. So this area gets the maximum heat, means southern hemisphere experience what? Summer. So as I told you, if southern hemisphere experience summer, it means northern hemisphere experience winter. And where we live in the northern hemisphere. It means on 22nd of December we are experiencing the winter. And as everybody knows that in December or January we are getting our winter breaks also. Now it is summer in the southern hemisphere with the longer days and the shorter night, and the opposite condition is in the northern hemisphere. That means short days and long nights. So this is all about two type of season, that is summer and winter. Now we will talk about the equinox. Equinox basically means equal days and equal night. Now equinox is a condition occurs two times in a year. First is on 21st of March and second is on 23rd of September. When it happens? 21st of March and 23rd of September, where direct rays falls on equator. And very important, during this time neither the pole tilt towards the sun, so whole earth experience equal day and equal night. So what will be the definition of equinox? When the whole earth experience equal days and equal night, it's called equinox. Okay student, and when it experience this condition? On 21st of March and 23rd of September. So on 23rd of September it is autumn season in northern hemisphere and spring season in southern hemisphere. Okay, so 23rd of September it is autumn in northern and spring in southern hemisphere, and just opposite 21st of March spring in northern and autumn in southern hemisphere. So we have covered our four main seasons: summer, winter, autumn and spring. Remember the condition, it's all about how sun rays are falling on the earth, whether it is straight, slanting, direct. It happened because why season occurs? Because of the revolution of the earth around the sun. So that's all in this chapter. We had covered everything from rotation to revolution. Read the chapter at home, underline the important line, try to solve the book exercise, and along with this video I am sending you one worksheet. Complete that worksheet and submit online. Okay student, in next social science class we will meet with our new chapter. Sai Ram.